Hey, hey everyone. How are you doing today? Brittany here, and today I want to talk about answering the question, is it ever too late to start? Okay, whatever your start may be, right? And why, sorry, I have something that had like a pop-up that was like, it was just distracting me. All right, so let's talk about, is it ever too late to start? And why we might even have that thought process in the first place. Okay. All right. So, my name, I already said it once, my name is Brittany Brown, and I help moms break the chains and the mindsets of poverty so that we can live the life we deserve and also give our kids the things that they deserve and we necessarily didn't get as kids, right? So, really, it's kind of breaking that generational cycle. All righty. So, is it too late to start for you? Okay. So, one of the times that I kind of had this feeling of like it's too late for me was way back when I first actually started contemplating starting college. Um, I graduated high school and I did not start college right away. And looking back, I think that was mostly just had to do with the fact that I didn't really know how to start, like where to start and how. Like I didn't have anyone to say, like, this is what you do, right? And I'm sure it was a very similar situation for a lot of you out there of just like, yeah, I want to do something like that, but I don't have anyone to say, do this, then this, then this, then this, right? And so when I first got out of high school, I was like, yeah, that sounds nice, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to start. I don't know how to get scholarships. I don't, I just didn't know. Um, and then, so I just, had a job. So I just continued working. And then a few years passed and I had that feeling of like, I is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Like, do I want to be a waitress for the rest of my life where I have no retirement, no health benefits? I only have cash, right? I'm not making raises or anything like that. And it kind of hit me of like, well, no, but it's a little late, don't you think, to go to college? Like, at that time, I was a little baby of only 21, 20, 21, but that's what my mind said, right? Like, "No, it's too late for you to go to college. You should have went to college when you were 18." Right? It's too late for you to start that now. It's going to take you 5 years to graduate. By the time you graduate, you're going to be 27, you know? And again, now looking back, I'm like, "Oh my god, that's so young and such a little baby." But at the time, it seemed like a lot, right? At the time, it was, "No, I should have started that 5 years ago." Right? And so like how many of you have had that feeling of some situation where you're like, man, I should have done that 5 years ago, right? I think a lot of it of like, a lot of people say with like investing, right? Like they say in like Google or Microsoft or Apple, right? Like, oh, I should have invested when they first start up, right? I could be a millionaire by now, right? Or right now I hear a lot of people are like, "Ah, I should have tried to buy a house 5 years ago, right? Should have done that 5 years ago before the housing market got all crazy, right? And so that was me, right? At 21, like, I should have just started college right out of high school, right? I could have been done by now. But here's the thing with that, okay? I, my makeshift office is shaky today, so I'm going to try to stay. Here's the thing with that. That's really, okay, the thought of like ever being too late to start, that's really just our brain trying to keep us in the safety zone. Okay. That's just our brain trying to keep us in our safety zone, in our comfort zone. Okay. That's our brain saying, no, you can't start that because that's going to take you this amount of years to complete, right? And you don't have that many years to complete it, right? You can't start college because that's going to take you 5 years to graduate and you don't have that kind of time, right? But in actuality, you're like, yeah, I do. How fast does a year go? Right? Like a year goes so fast. And then another year and another year and then another year and then you're done, right? But it's not just college. It's too late to start that business, right? You already have a career, right? That same thing happened to me teaching, right? You're a teacher, that's your career. Right? Do you really want to start working on growing a side business? Also, it's a little late for that. You already have your degree, you already have your path, right? But that's just our brains trying to keep us safe. Okay? That's a survival mechanism, right? So way back when we had to think about survival all of the time, right? Yeah, it was really dangerous to step outside our comfort zone, to step outside our bubble, right? But that's not the world we live in. But our brains are still programmed to think that way. And then we also have culture and society telling us that same thing. You have to graduate college by 23, right? You need to be married and have a baby by this time. And so what happens is the trenches in our brain, the thoughts we tell ourselves every time we hear that over and over and over again, right? Oh, I'm in my 30s. I need to stay in my career. It's too late to start a new path, right? Because that's all of the things that we've been taught. And then so that's what our brain remembers. And those trenches of those things that we say or think get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Right? But the truth is, it's not, right? The truth is, if something makes you happy, or if you want to strive for something better, it's not too late to strive for something better. You're not a lost cause. You are not a lost cause to say, that's too late for me. It's too late for me to chase my dreams. That ship has sailed because it hasn't. It's never too late to start something that you're passionate about, right? It's never too late to start something new, right? All of those times where it's like, oh, I should have done that 5 years ago. Yeah, maybe you should have, right? But that doesn't mean you can't do it now, right? Just because you didn't buy a house 5 years ago doesn't mean that you can't make steps towards having that goal now, right? You might have to do a little bit more. It might take you a little bit extra time, right? If you're like, I want to go to college right now, you can still do that. Because, like I said, a year goes by fast, right? One semester, then another semester. When you take the steps and you take the actions, they go by fast, right? You make progress, one step at a time. Okay? So it's never too late. It's just, do you know how? Do you know what the next step is? That's really, right, One, it's our brain and society making us think all of these things have timelines and deadlines, right? When they don't, right? And two, I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh, and two, a lot of times it's I just don't know how. So our brain says, well, it was too late anyway, right? I don't really know how to find colleges to get into and financial aid and all of the things. Well, it's kind of too late anyway. I don't really know how to start my own business, like what to do, where to go, what do I sell, what do I do? Well, I already have my career path. It's too late now, right? But it's not. That's just, again, either we don't know where to start when really it's not too late. It's just I don't know how. I don't know what the first step is, right? Or it's just our brains trying to keep us in the safety zone, right? And so what we have to do is say, no, it's not too late. I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care how old I am or, how long it's going to take. Then we have to ask ourselves, well, what's just the next step, right? Not how do I do this way out in the distance, right? How do I graduate college, right? When there's like so many things you have to do from starting college to ending, right? But if I would have thought about that, that's nope, it's too late for that. I should have started that when I was 18. It's going to take 5 years. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to switch. I'm going to have to take all these courses. No, it's what do I need to do right now? What's my first step? Right. And that, once you know that, oh, my first step is to look into what colleges I want to go to. Or my first step is thinking about what kind of business I can have. How do I want to help people? Right? Or my first step is what passion do I have? Right? What craft, what hobby do I want to start? Right? So it's never too late. It's just knowing how, right? It's never too late. It's just knowing how. What is my next step? What is one step? Right? All right, let me check my notes because I feel like I'm being a dead horse now. I think you guys get the point, right? All right. So, to answer your question, is it ever too late to start? No. That's just your brain keeping you safe, or it thinks it is, or you just don't know how. Okay. So, if you're feeling like it's too late to start, know that it's not and get curious and say, well, if I did do this, what would be my first step? And you might find that your first step is just 15 minutes of research. And then everything is you're like, oh, now I know. Everything's laid out. Alrighty. You guys have a fantastic day. I will see you next time. Bye bye.